said Gemma, but it's not Gemma. Definitely doesn't look like a Gemma anyway. But you can never tell these days, can you? Do you know what I mean? Never tell. Let's bring Gemma on. How you doing, man?
That's all right. How you doing? My wife's profile's still logged in, obviously.
Well, unless that's your weekend name, mate, we've all got one. Well, sorry, some of us have. Don't you know what I mean?
If you want to call me Gemma, feel free.
Yeah. Whip me and call me Dorothy. That's the one, isn't it? Brilliant, brilliant. In fact, the last track had just ended it simultaneously as you came on screen. So I just thought I'd bring you straight on screen.
Perfect.
And I better do my little intro. People, this is the part of the show where we bring on our special guest and we chat about them, the music or whatever they do. And it's a bit different tonight because we've got a promoter of bands rather than a band. And his name's Cris. So good evening. Or Gemma, if you want, on Friday and Saturday.
You're right. How you doing, Kirk?
I'm sound, mate. I'm very serious. It's a very serious interview, this, mate. You know what I mean? It's like, it's well up there with Paxman. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
That's it. Let's go with the flow.
So, I know you come on for, and I have mentioned it a couple of times tonight, you've got an all day going, haven't you?
We do indeed on Saturday at the Heron House in Birmingham.
Wonderful, home of UB40, where they first died.
Great venue. It's a
Yeah.
brilliant venue.
Well, for me, it was, I know a guy called Matt Hoy who was in UB40 with Ali Campbell. That's another story. And I went to interview him it was around about COVID time, and it was at the Hare and Hounds. And I'm a massive UB40 fan. And to be in there with him, chatting to him, thinking UB40 would have been in here back in the day. And it's just mind blowing. That place has got some history on it.
Yeah, it has. And we've put a gig there before and just fell in love with it. I mean, neither myself or my business partner Faye, neither of us are from Birmingham. We just love the venue. We've been putting on gigs around sort of Oxford, Cheltenham, London, and just wanted to put an all-dayer up there, just because we love the venue.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, good. Well, all the success with it. So that's on the Saturday the 6th, isn't it? 6th of September.
Yeah, so literally this Saturday, yeah. So
Oh, wow. Well, I'll be engaged somewhere else this weekend, all weekend. Motorbikes again, but there you go. It's one of those things. But you've got
fair
you've
enough.
got a good lineup there, haven't you?
Yeah, we think we've got a really good lineup. We worked with a few of the bands before, so we've worked with Champagne Casuals before, and quite a lot with Syracuse, and we've had Spangle before, um, and we just think we've got a really exciting, energy-driven, fun sort of
Yeah,
indie lineup, really, and it's yeah,
definitely,
we can't
definitely.
wait.
Definitely. I think we've interviewed Syracuse. Janice, I've interviewed that many bands. I forget who we've interviewed, but we've definitely played them on the show, and we've interviewed the Heavy North and Champagne Casuals, as you know, played because we've done two festivals here all dayers, and Champagne Casuals did one. Ah, and they're brilliant. The lads are brilliant, very talented. Love what they
Yeah,
do.
they are.
We didn't do it this year because, as you know, the amount, I don't know how you do it, mate. The amount of time it takes, like putting a wedding on every year for us, and the costs and the stress, and I had a lot of other stuff going on. So this year we said no. So I've got a feeling in a bit we might do something like you're doing. I don't know, but we'll have to have a think about that because I have it at my house, so it's all weekend. I have band staying all weekend, so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all. Do you know what I mean? It's like non-stop. It's madness, madness.
It's amazing. They are stressful. I'm not going to lie, and it's probably harder now than ever with people buying tickets at the last minute. So since COVID, that's obviously changed. Last minute buying and whatever. So that does make it a bit stressful, worrying you're not going to cover your costs, etc. But the reward at the end of it, standing in whatever venue you're putting on the gig, watching bands that you've booked because you like them. It's not
Correct.
buying
Yeah,
bands to,
yeah,
sell tickets. You're buying, so it's almost you see these podcasts and whatever where everybody's got, what is your dream lineup? Every time we put on a gig, it's almost like that because it's always bands that you want to book and play.
yeah.
So it's brilliant. So then you get the buzz of that, and then you're looking at everybody else having a great time, and you're thinking, I did that. So
Yeah.
it's brilliant. So the reward is great, but it is bloody stressful.
And it's one of the first times doing an interview I can empathise because we've done it. And normally on sort of bands and they're on stage, I don't know. But me and Janice felt exactly the same way because the amount of time and effort we put into it, we only, bands came by invite. In fact, we didn't make any money. It costs us money to put them on. So do you know what I mean? We didn't have any money. It was all live streamed, and because that's how we wanted to do it, and we wanted to do something a bit different. So I fully understand what you're saying. It's on the day I might not smile much, but I'm watching it and going, "Oh, this is in my back garden." Do you know what I mean? It's out behind my studio. This is insane. And then when I start editing the video, I'm going, we did this. So I can really, be in tune with what you're saying. It's a wonderful feeling, a wonderful feeling.
It is. You can't beat it. I mean, we've done a few now. Back. So how Speakeasy actually started wasn't through a promotion company. During COVID, we actually started a 90s indie fanzine, basically. And through that, we got some opportunities to put on some live gigs, and we put on some like 90s indie all dayers, I suppose, with a couple of up and coming bands. And just through doing that, we got a love for it. And obviously 90s bands are a lot more expensive to book, some of them. So we started getting onto a lot more local up and coming bands and really enjoyed it. And there's a real good vibe with the up and coming indie scene. There's lots of small promoters around the country who help each other out. There's not really any competition. Everybody promotes everybody and helps each other. It's just great. And we absolutely love doing it. And the lineup we've got this year is probably up there with the best we've done with, Champagne Casuals, Ventrails, Red Light Camera, another Midlands band, Syracuse Heavy North, Dirty Blonde, who are starting to sort of make waves, Public Eye and Spangled are up there with one of the best live bands I've ever seen. It's just,
Yeah, it's
it's
good. It's good.
it's a dream lineup,
It's
really.
going to be absolutely awesome. Is anyone going to be videoing any of it or taking any photos out like
I don't know what the rules are on sort of streaming it, because I think got to get all the artist permissions and whatever. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of
that? No,
camera camera things.
mate, just tell them you're streaming it. Don't get a permission, just stream it.
Well,
Anyway,
yeah,
you want people at the venue. I'm just thinking, if you could video it and you'd have some nice assets for after it, wouldn't you? So
I'm sure we'll be doing some sort of recording in some way, but it won't be broadcast. Obviously, we want people at the venue
yeah, correct,
having a
correct.
good time, and that's what live music's all about, isn't it? It's the escape from this crap world that we sort of
I know.
find ourselves in sometimes, and it's an escape relief, isn't it?
And it shouldn't be crap, should it? Because everything's here
No,
free, all around. There's abundant. You know what I mean? Everything.
exactly.
But yeah, some people want to be a bit more equal than anyone else, don't they? So we'll just it's crap in it. You know what I mean? It's nonsense. Some of the I don't want to get into it all, but some of the stuff
Yeah,
that's going on right now and the way people are getting treated and the way the cost of living and things like that, it's just insanity. There's no need for it.
it, it is, and that's one thing we try to, you mentioned the cost of living. We try to pride ourselves in keeping tickets cheap. We've put on gigs, and we'll only charge sort of 6, 7 quid. This one is 30 quid for the whole weekend, 8 bands for 30 quid. I don't think there's much sort of you can go wrong with that sort of price, but it is trying to make sure it's not, don't get me wrong, I went and saw Oasis and everything, but it cost me an absolute arm and leg. And it's times are tough for people. So it's trying to make it as affordable as possible for everything. And that's something we really pride
Yeah,
ourselves in, that we're not in it for the money, we're in it for the love. We don't make any money. Like you said earlier on, quite often you make a loss. We've made loads of losses. Yeah, we have recruited on some of the better or bigger gigs that we've sold out, which is great, but we certainly don't make money out of it, that's for sure.
yeah, exactly. Like most bands don't either. We do this because we think we should do it. Someone needs to do it because people say, "Well, why are you doing what you're doing?" I said, "Well, someone, a bit like you, you're probably the same. Someone needs to be doing this, so why not be me? And if it's going to be me, I'll do it the best way I can." So, that's why we do the interviews. That's why we, promote the
Exactly.
bands.
Everybody goes on about Oasis and all these big bands.
Yeah,
But if we don't put on a platform for up and coming bands, there won't be a future bigger band for
correct, correct.
people to go along. So we are not just me, but the fans and the bands, we are the future. If we don't do what we do, music dies basically. And that's how I look at it. So giving an opportunity to these up and coming bands, and I'm telling you, there's bands out there now that are as good as any of these mainstream
Yeah,
bands out there. They just need a platform, they need an opportunity. And unfortunately, mainstream radio doesn't give them that opportunity. It relies on people like yourself and sort of small independent radio stations,
yeah.
small promoters to get the word out. And you just hope that some of them filter through to give the, you know, to get out there into the wider world and shout out saying there's an amazing underground music scene here.
Yeah, there is. I think the trouble, it's like everything in it. The industry's about cash. They don't be losing cash, so it's much easier for them. If you notice, it's virtually just solo artists, isn't it?
Yeah,
Formulaic music, and I'm not saying they're not all good or all talented. Not saying that at all. That there quite clearly is. But if the general public is only being fed this, yeah, to consume, then they're only going to consume that. And it frustrates the crap out of me when I hear people say, "Oh, there's no good music anymore. It was great in the '70s," and I think, "Grow up, man! Listen to the stuff we play every week. Every week we have to cut hours of music out to get it down to what we've got. Well, Janice does. I don't do any of that, and." But they're brilliant. I mean, our track of the month we're playing at the minute, it's just insane track. It should be out there everywhere. It's just in your face. Brilliant music, brilliant vocals, and you can say that for 99% of the tracks we play. They're just all stunning. It's frustrating the crap, but we have to keep doing this. We keep doing this and
yeah,
keep doing this.
yeah, and just hope that the odd one filters through, really,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's why I do.
Um,
That's why we do it as well. We're like putting little acorns in, and one day something's got to grow on it. It's got to grow.
yeah, they've got to wake up, the wider world, wake up and smell the roses, as they say, and realize what great music there is. And
Mm.
you look at all these bands, and they play as many shows as they can, but they've all got full-time jobs. It's not like back, when we were younger in the 80s and 90s, where they'd get a three album record deal, loads of money, they could quit work and concentrate on writing music and touring. These people are, they've got jobs, and they're spending all their free time writing and recording music. They're going out on the road making no money for the love of it. And it's just a shame that,
Mm.
some of the bands that are around now, if they'd had the opportunities that bands had had in the 90s, they'd be household names and probably wouldn't have to
Yeah.
work again.
No, you're
And
right.
it's
You're
just
right.
it's just poor timing, really.
Yeah, you're right, because like all the same as guys on the shows, the guy on but you'll pick one band and go, they are outstanding, and that they would be the ones that have gone up. But I listen to some tracks somewhere, and I think this is just magical. It's a magical
Yeah,
sound. It's absolutely brilliant. You're right. If they had the opportunities, they'd be monster. But everything's changed. I don't know. We keep doing this. I don't know what the solution is. We break through. I think the only way is by the public being aware of stuff like these shows and like You're All Day and going along and then building a fan base, a bit like social media really. Some people get really big on social media, don't they? Well, yeah, it's a difficult one. It's a tough time for everyone.
it's trying to make that snowball effect. And I know that, I've read plenty of books and stuff about bands in the 90s. I caught sort of the Britpop years, I missed the early years sort of thing. But people used to say that, I don't know, for example, a band like Syracuse, who are from Cheltenham, they've got a good local following, and it's trying to break out of that town. And back in the 90s, they might book a gig in London, and then they'd take a busload of their mates from Cheltenham to a venue in London, and because you had so many more people going, like, from the record industry, going to watch bands to try and find the next big thing. They walk in a pub, they see a pub full of 50, 100 people, and they go, "Oh, these have already got a following in London. They might be worth snapping up." But in reality, they've shifted in their audience from their local
Why
town,
not? Why
and
not?
it's almost like bands sort of need to do that a bit more to try and build a buzz, because there's already a crowd there. Instead of playing in front of 5, 10 people in London because they've never played there before, you bring an audience
Yeah.
and get a buzz by bringing your local audience with you.
Yeah. And if you've got a loyal, you're right, if you've got a loyal fan base, like the band we interviewed last week, Fury, they've got a massive follow on Spotify, and they ended up doing a gig down near Torquay, and it was random. They did a little video, and they end up doing a big festival down there every year, or they get a lot. They've got a massive following down in that part of the world. But you're right. If you could between them, if like say if they had 30 or 40 people, and say right, if we all divvy the cost of a bus, yeah, between us, it's a few quid each, and it's going to be X to get in. Come on, let's have a. You know what I mean? Let's go for it. You could actually do something, couldn't you? Really good, and it's getting
Yeah,
someone.
definitely. But it's also about making sure you capitalize on that, and then when you do go to another town, you play that town, you get 10 fans, then you play again, you get maybe 30 fans, and snowball it in. And like an opportunity like this thing in Birmingham we're doing on Saturday, tickets are available, everybody, by the way.
Yeah,
Um,
£30.
but
Oh, where did they get? Oh, carry on, carry on. We'll do that in a minute.
yeah, so basically going to those events and making them popular. It's a platform for 8 bands. Well, I suppose six because two are from Birmingham already. So it's six out of town bands that are coming into the city and have a platform to play to the audiences from Birmingham or other areas. And they get a chance. And someone might go to that gig not knowing, I don't know, Champagne Casuals or Ventrelles or whatever, and then suddenly go, oh my God, that's my new favorite band. And then they go and tell their friends, and they then go and listen to them. And then the next time they go to another town, they've already taken a bit of that audience, or the local people in Birmingham have seen them on a bill. So maybe one of those bands play a small show in Birmingham and they bring some of their mates along, and it slowly builds that thing. But it's just giving them that platform
Yeah,
to get to a wider audience who might not
you.
see them normally.
Yeah, and what we found from putting a couple of Duggy Fests on, which we sort of hoped would happen but didn't know if it would, is because the bands were all here contained for several hours together. The amount of each, I'd imagine it happens with yours. The amount of networking they did, and then we're going to do a gig in Norfolk. Do you want to come and, you know what I mean, do it with us? Had a lot of that going, and we had a DJ. We had a DJ here for the 2 years, and he remixed three tracks, three bands. Yeah, three bands. He remixed their music and made electronic dance music out of their indie music. So the spin-offs from them all being together could be immense, couldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, bands when they've got new material out, say, I don't know, let's say Syracuse, for example, they bring out a new album, they want to go tour up north. They will have a certain amount of fans in each city, but if they can tap into those support acts that they might have met at another show, you get them on the same bill. They bring their friends along. They've got a bigger audience that now that they're playing on a tour to uncharted waters, I suppose. And
Yeah,
when those bands from say up north want to come down south and play, you know, Syracuse or other bands down here have got a fan base, and it's almost using their audience to push to bigger things. And I think it's naturally a really good way of doing it. And I'm sure, that's sort of what happened in all the other eras, support acts
yeah,
would get picked up, but it is slightly harder now, but it just relies on people buying tickets and turning up as well, really.
yeah. And obviously the market for that, I think you've alluded to before. Have you found it? Have you found it more difficult to actually sell tickets? Are people more reluctant to go to live gigs? You think?
Yeah, definitely. It is definitely a lot harder to sell tickets. More people are leaving it till the last minute. And I suppose it's holding your nerve and not pulling it. And, just going along and going, right, we might have 100 people here and it might be a 200 capacity venue, for example, but we're going to put it on regardless. And hopefully you get another 20, 30, 40 people turn up. Speaking to numerous venues like the Hare and Hounds, we use the Jericho in Oxford quite a lot. They've all said that, back prior to COVID, people would buy tickets in advance, help the promoter ease it all, and then you'd have a few on the day. Now they're saying that more and more it's just last week because people have changed the way their buying habits. They leave everything to the last minute now. So it is harder, and you just got to trust that people will sort of turn up on the day, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that time in our history it's had some real good advantages and real positive things have come from it, I believe, was one or two. But the negative side is people probably more reluctant because it may be in the psyche back then. everything started getting cancelled. You'd have arrangements and stuff and just get cancelled, cancelled.
Exactly.
So he's probably in there now. It's, well, oh no, we do this now. I might as well wait till the last minute and book it and go, because you've had 2 years of stuff getting cancelled every 5 minutes. Then that's probably why people do it. So yeah,
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's not just the music industry, it's not just the live industry. The pub industry suffering from that, where less people are going out. We had a certain amount of time where people's life stopped and people almost found other things to
yeah.
do, you
That's the
know.
trouble with it, isn't it? That is a trouble. I think the positives, that is one of the negatives, because for pubs, I think on a positive note, people, I think generally, because it's happened with our neighbours, everyone's ended up with a garden bar type thing or somewhere to
Yeah,
go, because that's all you had. And we quite often go, I'll often get a shout over the fence, so do you want to come for a beer, Kurt? We're having a game of darts, or we're having a game of pool or whatever. And then, it's what we happen. I mean, I was there. My brother-in-law was here a couple of weeks ago. Went next door just to say hello. Ended up being in there for hours, and I was like, "I'm going to have to cook you some food in a minute. We've not eaten." And then my next door neighbour shouted over, "I've got the barbecue on." So we went. I said, "Oh, take it." So we didn't even leave. We didn't even leave the house. We went next door, a few beers. Then, do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of that going on now, and I think that the cost of alcohol and drinks when you go out is astronomical in a lot of places, and people are going,
yeah,
do I really want to be spending whatever, 6, 7 quid a
exactly.
pint? It's a tough one. It's a tough one for
It
everyone, really.
is. Don't go to the pub, save your money, and come to gigs.
Yeah,
That's what I
do that
say.
instead, people. You can always take some, go and get
Come
water.
to our
You don't have to
gigs.
get smashed. Janning says, Chris, have you looked into sponsorship for the bigger gigs?
Funnily enough, we've only done it once. So we did an all women festival for International Women's Day a couple of years ago.
Right.
So we had all female bands on there, and we did look at sponsorship there, and we got close to a couple of sponsors, but it never came through. But I mean, it's something that it might be worth exploring. I mean, randomly, there's another hobby of mine. I'm a chairman of a football club, so obviously we rely on sponsorship for the survival of our football club as well.
What's the football club then? Don't say Man United.
Listen, I wouldn't be begging for ticket money. Well, I
I
probably would actually.
know. Yeah, you probably would. What,
It's Hungerford Town Football Club. We're in the Southern Premier League, so we're like 3 leagues off the Football League.
right, cool. I know nothing about football, so you could have said anything. I would have not had a clue. Do you know what I mean?
But yes,
I know the big
sponsorship is a
net.
way that football club survives. So it's not a bad idea, to be fair.
Yeah, it would be good. And I don't know if you do it at your club, but we interviewed a couple of guys actually, and they've done gigs at the football ground, in between or just before and things like that.
Yes. So
So
we put on the odd sort of covers band in the evenings. We've put on a couple of beer festivals where we've had a mixture of covers and original bands. So funny enough, Syracuse have played at one of those before. And we're looking at sort of going bigger and better next year. The problem is for me on a personal level, um, as a music fan, I'm not a fan of booking covers bands.
yeah.
However, in a small rural town, no one gives a shit about new music. They want
No,
to
I
have the
know,
covers
and
bands,
this is a
and it's
frustration.
getting that balance right about generating the money or giving an opportunity to certain bands, etc.
But yeah, this is a frustration because I know if I go anywhere and I go, oh, you do your show, put some. I says I'm not going to put it on, because as soon as I put it on, you're going to go, well, what's this? Let's put the
Yeah,
Michael Jackson on. So half the time, I don't even bother, because a lot of people are closed off to it, aren't they? To the music.
yeah,
I'm having a party in January, and it's like, wife said, you're going to do a playlist. If you mute some music, it's like, I wrote, she said, why you roll your eyes? I went, well, whatever I want to put on, you probably won't like, and no one else is going to like. But it's what I probably want to listen to. So I'm going to have to compromise to please you lot. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's what frustrates me. You get in someone's car and they say they play the same music. I'm like, I've heard this so many times. This is something new. I have a different, don't just listen to indie. I like a lot of liquid drum and bass and stuff like that, and I'll flick between all sorts of stuff. And but the odd time I might listen to some 80s, but it's not very often. Just fed up with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 thousand CDs and vinyls and stuff, and I'll be brutally honest, I hardly any listen to any of the old that stuff now because it's all sort of older stuff. I'm always looking for the next thing now, and that's a bit of a drive because I want to put on the best new bands and showcase them and stuff. But it's also, I'm not saying I'm bored of the music that's come behind me because that's not necessarily true, but I don't get the buzz I get of
No,
hearing a
yeah,
new song again.
I get it. I still get that feeling I did when I was about 13, 14, when I really first
Yeah,
started getting into music. And I've not lost that. And I think for some reason, some people never lose it, and other people get locked in that thing, and that's where they want to stay. Same as fashion, and it people stay in this fashion or whatever. So it's good. I'm glad.
yeah,
I'm glad
it's
you're still
chasing
looking.
the high, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you just said. I'm still chasing the high of the first time I heard Definitely Maybe, or the first time I heard
Yes.
Siamese Dream by Smashing Pumpkins. I'm I'm still chasing those highs now, where it gets harder and harder, and but that's what I do. I keep on chasing it.
Cool. Cool. So, where can people get tickets for this magical event on the 6th of September in Birmingham?
So you can either go on to We Got Tickets and then just type in Indie All Dayer and you'll see it come up, Speakeasy Indie All Dayer,
Yeah.
or you can go directly onto the Hare and Hounds website
Ah,
and they've got a ticket link with Skiddle there. So you can get the tickets through there. But like I said, they're 30 quid a ticket. There will be somewhat available on the door. Ideally, we would prefer people to buy in advance because it helps us out, to be brutally honest. Um, and yeah, doors open at 2. It's going to be an absolutely amazing day. Night gets finished off by a band called Spangled, who, if you've not seen them, they are one of the most unbelievably good live bands you'll ever see. I mean, you'll walk out there like a Cheshire cat, smile one side to the other of your face, and they're just such an unreal live band. And throughout the day, there's just brilliant band after brilliant band, in my humble opinion,
it's going to be
anyway.
great. In some respects, I'm a bit gutted that I'm not going to be here. Because that'd have been good. I'd have come and had a bit of a chat with all the bands as well and done a bit of an interview with them. But
Maybe next time.
maybe next time, sad to say, because that'd be absolutely brilliant. Can you do us? We normally ask for an artist drop, but you're not an artist, but you could still do a drop promoting your promotion company, couldn't you? Do you know what I mean? You could say, "This is Cris Bowden from
Speakeasy.
Speakeasy." That's it. So good job, isn't it? Speakeasy. It went. My mind went blank then because you kept saying Spangle. I was going to say Spangle, but it's not Spangle. That's the band that's headlining. Can you do that for us,
Of
Chris? And I'll put it on as
course,
one of our jingles. Go.
course I can. This is Cris Bowden. I'm from Speakeasy. Come and listen to Kirk's radio station.
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, mate. Well, all the very best. Say hello to. We've virtually interviewed all those most of the bands, and if we've not interviewed some of them, get them hold of Janet and we'll interview them for the show. I mean, what
Perfect.
we've done.
Brilliant. Well,
But, but thank you for
go
coming
on,
on.
sorry.
Thanks for your time.
No, thank you very much, Kirk. I really appreciate it.
And you.
Thanks for your support and have a great evening.
Yeah, good luck with that gig, mate. I know it's going to be an absolute banger. So
Cheers,
wonderful
mate.
stuff.
Thank you very much.
See
Keep
you
well.
today. Will do. Wonderful. So there you go. Grassroots music like we do. Chris is a great guy. Go and check him out. And if you're in Birmingham, why not pop along to the Hare and Hounds and get yourself an all dayer for 30 dabs.